Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you've been on the roads in any major Indian city lately, you already know the deal. Rapid urbanization is absolutely forcing a massive, ground-up structural shift in public transit. So today, we're doing a comprehensive investment teardown of JBM Auto, and specifically, we're looking at their highly critical role in India's electric mobility transition. We're going to unpack exactly how they operate, peek under the hood of their financial health, and examine the technicals of their stock. Let's dive in.
Now, what's really fascinating about JBM Auto, or JBMA as it's commonly known, is how it sits just perfectly right at the intersection of traditional automotive manufacturing and the future of sustainable transportation. When most people think about India's auto sector, they immediately jump straight to passenger cars. But JBM Auto operates in this incredibly vital supporting layer: commercial vehicles, buses, and all those complex automotive systems that keep everything running.
Let's be real for a second. The reality on the ground is that India's massive, rapid urbanization simply does not scale with old, emission-heavy transit. There's just no way. And this creates an undeniable long-term structural demand. As these cities expand outward, they urgently, desperately need robust electric vehicles and sustainable mobility infrastructure just to keep things moving without choking the air. To unpack all of this, here's our roadmap for today. First, the mobility megatrend. Second, inside JBM's ecosystem. Third, financial engine and growth. Fourth, risks on the road. And finally, charting the technicals. All right, starting off with Section 1, the mobility megatrend. This is where urbanization truly meets electrification. We are literally seeing a perfect storm of macro drivers here. Rising urbanization and those super aggressive government green transit policies, well, they aren't just abstract ideas anymore. They are directly translating into massive, fully funded electric bus order pipelines for the companies equipped to capture them. Cities across the country are actively adopting electric buses, and manufacturers who have strong operational capabilities and established government relationships, they're the ones catching these highly lucrative order flows. Moving right along to Section 2, inside JBM's ecosystem, where we'll look at their diversified manufacturing. JBM absolutely is not a one-trick pony. In fact, the revenue is almost perfectly balanced. Get this: electric buses make up 34%, auto component supply 33%, and advanced engineering solutions account for the final 33%. It's like a perfectly balanced engine. This means they're monetizing multiple layers of the automotive value chain. They sell the vehicles and secure the big bus contracts, sure, but actually, they go way beyond that. They also provide the complex automotive systems and the charging infrastructure that support the entire broader transportation ecosystem. And this brings us to a really vital distinction. Think about pure electric vehicle startups for a second. They're heavily reliant on achieving future scale entirely from scratch. But JBM Auto, they leverage an already established manufacturing base and deep vertical integration. They've got existing industrial operations and decades, literally decades of automotive manufacturing experience. This gives them immense operational control, proven execution capability, and a massive competitive advantage over those newcomers who are trying to integrate complex EV tech without a solid manufacturing foundation to stand on. Okay, Section 3, financial engine and growth. Let's look at this strictly by the numbers. Driven by much stronger bus deliveries, a surge in electric mobility projects, and really high demand in their auto system segment, their FY25 consolidated revenue hit a staggering 5,526 crore rupees. I mean, to put that into perspective, that is an impressive near 10% year-over-year growth compared to FY24's 5,028 crore. The operational scale we just talked about, it is clearly, undeniably translating to top-line expansion. But hey, it's not just about top-line growth, right? It's about efficiency. Better utilization across their massive manufacturing facilities actually push their EBITDA up into the 630 to 645 crore range. And that yields a very healthy 11.7% EBITDA margin. Let's dig into the broader financial health here. They posted a solid net profit of 205 to 215 crore rupees. But honestly, the standout metric for any expert reviewing this sector is the leverage. They have a highly manageable 0.9x debt-to-equity ratio. In this notoriously capital-intensive industry where peers are so often heavily levered, this delicate balance is a real game changer. It keeps their return on equity in the low double digits and allows them to visibly outperform a lot of their broader industrial benchmark peers. Which brings us to Section 4, risks on the road. We have to talk about execution and capital. Look, we have to be objective here. The crucial point is that this business is highly sensitive.
While the long-term trend is definitely their friend, profitability can be quickly derailed by short-term hurdles, execution delays in that massive bus pipeline we talked about, shifting government policies, or sudden volatile battery and raw material costs. Any of those can directly eat into those pretty margins we just looked at. Plus, the broader automotive sector remains highly cyclical, which means they are never fully insulated from broader economic slowdowns.
Finally, Section 5, Charting the Technicals. Let's look at some current consolidation patterns. If you're into price action, a really clear story emerges here. Notice that massive cup formation spanning 15 weeks with a 24% depth, and then right after, it's followed by a larger cup with handle pattern spanning 34 weeks with a 40% depth. The stock is clearly building a very strong consolidation base, right in the 560 to 620 rupee range after its earlier rallies. This kind of technical behavior is exactly what you often see in high-growth stocks, operating within a sector that's benefiting from massive structural tailwinds.
Now, while the 52-week range spans a pretty wide 470 to 755 rupees, the volume behavior is what tells a truly compelling story. We're seeing incredibly active institutional participation, particularly right after quarterly earnings announcements and major electric bus order updates. This suggests a highly constructive underlying trend. It essentially tells us that institutions are actively positioning themselves around the stock's consolidation phases.
So, that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? As these structural tailwinds blow strong and India aggressively modernizes its transportation grid, can JBM overcome the inherent execution and capital intensity risks to deliver long-term growth for investors? I mean, they've got the manufacturing scale, the diversified revenue streams, and literally thousands of buses under execution. But in the demanding world of heavy industrial manufacturing, converting a pipeline into lasting, stable margins is the true test of a company's staying power. It's an absolutely fascinating space to watch, and we hope this breakdown has given you a much clearer lens through which to view it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.